Hey everyone, it's a vinyl update over here. Let's go, let's do it. I'm laid back, I'm feeling chill, I'm feeling relaxed. We got some new additions to the collection over here and some stuff that I just either have or I picked up that I thought would be cool and fun to give away on the Patreon page and in the comments. We're just going to see. Pay attention to everything I'm about to say. All the releases I talk about, what's being given away, what's not, it's listed down below in the description box. Obviously, again, just listen to everything that I say, and we'll get through this together like the lovely community that we are. Where should I start? How should I begin? Okay, a couple of things. When I was out and about, I saw this sick CD single of Anthrax's I'm the Man for $1, which also, okay, it's a CD single. Maybe you're not freaking out over that, but there's a cover of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath on here, then live versions of Caught in a Mosh, I'm the Law, I'm the Man. Come on, for $1? That's a sweet CD. So the thrash heads, the metal heads out there, for $1, get this Anthrax. Also, going to give this away on the Patreon page. Join up today. Also being given away on the Patreon page, I picked up a couple of UCD copies that are in great condition of Beck's Mutations, and also one of his best records, in my opinion, Midnite Vultures. Both of which, again, I saw at the store in the used bin. I was like, these can't just go in the used bin. What? These are great albums. I'm going to give them away together as a twofer on the Patreon page. There will be a picture. There will be a post. Call it, and if we choose you randomly, we'll send them your way. All right, I do have the James Blake here, but there are some other things that I want to get to. I want to talk about this Boko Yout record. Gave this a review on this channel, and it's a really cool post-punky, dancey little rock album that comes from an artist, comes from a group that I think has a lot of potential. There's a lot of great tracks on here that, despite it not being like one of my favorites that I've heard in the past year, I still think are sticking with me quite well. Like, I need a 9 to 5, I need a 9-2, I need a 9 to 5, I need a 9-2. Like, there's some real earworm choruses on this record that have stuck with me for quite a while. And after I did my review of the record, they sent me a copy along with this sweet ass fucking hoodie too that I have been rocking nonstop. But shout out to Boko Yout. This is like really, again, one of the more fun rock albums I have heard over the last year. I know they've also played with Viagra Boys too. So if you're looking for, I don't know, a little frame of reference there in terms of, you know, what these guys are vibing like a little bit, but again, it's very cleanly and methodically put together, very punchy daw rock, I sort of referred to it as, but it's got a raw edge to it. Could be a little rawer, but still the songwriting is very catchy, and the packaging is cool, like this nice cardboard sleeve. What are we looking at here? What are we looking at? Ooh, it's a nice little lavender. It's a nice lavender record. That's quite nice. But yeah, shout out to Boko Yout because this Gusto album is quite good, and I'm really going to be looking forward to seeing what they do from here, because again, this is a very, very cool record, and definitely a recommendation from me. Check it out. Check it out. All right, moving on from there. There was a Barnes & Noble whose location was closing up near me, and as a result, they were trying to sell off all of their stock really fast. So there was tons of stuff in the store, all the stuff in the store that was going for just a fraction of its original price. So of course I had to go through the vinyl section. Now I know that, you know, all of y'all, and this is not an incorrect assessment. You know that at Barnes and Noble, the record section is just packed with Michael Bublé and U2 records. But you know, there's like a few bangers here and there as well. that maybe I wouldn't want to pay a Barnes & Noble price, but I would get if it was a little bit cheaper, which is why I got this Naughty by Nature, the Naughtiest record, which, I mean, if you're a 90s kid and you love the hip-hop hits of that era, this record is definitely sort of like a must. There's some bops on here that really sort of defined that time period, even if this is not like the most consistent album of all time. And it's a little red splatter. It's a little clear red splatter, which, it's like the blood splatter from getting whacked by the bat on the on the front cover. Now, I took this out, and the plastic sleeve that was in there also came out. I don't think I've ever dealt with this situation before. How am I supposed to overcome this? Especially without a cut. I think I'm going to have to do a cut. OPP, Hip Hop Hooray. There's some real bops on this project. They cannot be denied. It is a highlight, I think, as far as boom bap and the 90s era goes. And, they had it for cheap at Barnes & Noble, so why the F not? Moving on from there, I want to recommend this compilation over here that I grabbed. This is a very interesting comp. Very interesting comp. Listen up. It's in my collection. It's staying in my collection. But it's a very interesting comp. It is called Hillbillies in Hell. Wake Me Up. Brimstone and Beauty from the Nashville Pulpit, 1952 to 1974. So we have a bunch of sort of obscure country cuts and singles on here, all of which have a, sort of evangelical, hyper-Christian bent to them. And, this is if you put this in your collection, this is very much going to be kind of, a bit of a novelty piece, something you kind of ogle at a little bit. But the songs in production are legitimately very good, and some very quirky tunes on here. There's a ballad on here with this woman singing about how Jesus is her pusher. Essentially like her drug dealer, and there's all of these sort of similes and analogies to her love and connection with Jesus to being that of her with a drug dealer. There's a very, I think, morbid song about the atomic bomb, sort of helping to bring the end times on here. There's a dude who, honest to God, sounds like a Baptist Nick Cave. Oddly enough, that really could use, I think, some class consciousness on his track, in my opinion. Pretty much every song on here I enjoyed and I loved to some degree. It's a cool gatefold. It's a very cool collection of tracks. I love a creatively curated compilation like this. The vinyl itself has, the fire and brimstone sort of coloration splatter, which is pretty cool. But very much worth the time and worth the space for anybody who's a country fan or is looking for something that, again, is like a little oddball or just interestingly sourced. This is a very, very cool compilation, and this led me to pick up another compilation from this series that these guys have, which was another bunch of country tracks I haven't dug too far into yet, but believe me, this one is freaking peak over here. This is one of my favorite comps that I've heard in a while. Also, for $6 used, how can you go wrong with a There Goes Rhymin' Simon? I mean, I've had digital access to this album for a while, but some of my favorite Paul songs are on here. Kodachrome, amazing track, mind-blowing track. I think really one of Paul's best records. I love the layout of this record. I love sort of all of the titles next to the different bits of art and visuals that kind of explain the vibe of each song, lyric sheet, and all that. I think one of the more solid singer-songwriter records of this era. Straightforward black pressing, but I think Paul Simon is most definitely worthy of, I wouldn't say a critical reassessment. Paul is no stranger to critical praise and hype, but I feel like he could use maybe a little bit more Gen Z love, I'll say that. But there you go. One of Paul Simon's best, in my opinion. Found it for $6. Why the heck not? If you're going through the used section, you're going to find some heat. also got used over at the Village Revival. Got a 12-inch single for, Lovers and Friends is on the other side, but I got a 12-inch single for Get Crunk, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. This was a favorite single of mine back in college, and when I saw this, I was like, well, hell yeah, I gotta have that. I gotta bring the Crunk vibes back. All right, let me dig into this James Blake over here. Trying Times. Gave a glowing review to this. Got a double LP gatefold over here. Wondering what the heck is in it, especially since it is said to be a limited pressing. And seems James spared no expense creatively and physically with this album. Let's take a peek. And again, if you have not taken the time to listen to this record yourself, not only is it packed with wonderfully sung and written ballads, but some of the ways in which James works with samples on this album, in my opinion, pretty mind-blowing, and unlike what anybody else out there is doing at the moment. Ooh, we got just a very nice white pressing, which is quite cool. The cardboard sleeves are thick as hell, dense. Got some lyric sheets on here and everything. Well, some lyric blocks on here. Let's peep the gatefold that James has brought us. Got the broken plates and all that. Thank you, James. Very cool. Very cool visuals. Also looking like a white pressing on LP2, which is totally fine. Very nice. Excited to put this on the turntable. Next, shout out to Last Gang Records, who came through with a bulk of different LPs and releases, which I haven't even put all of them on the turntable quite yet, because there's just so many. They gave me new stuff. They gave me anniversary reissue stuff. From all over sort of like the map of their catalog, which is pretty cool. First off, we got the Breakout Metric and the Emily Haines solo from 2017. Hell yeah. I haven't popped them open yet, but part of the reason I was going to do that here with you, and it has been a minute since I have thought about either of these projects, honestly. Let's take a peep at the Emily Haines first. There we go. Love that. I love this cover. The gloves, the contrast with the dress, the bat, the look on her face as if she's just about to bash something. Always loved the layout of this project. The gatefold is sick. What the hell? That's great. That's killer. Really enjoying that. Oh, we have a nice orange over here. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. However, I know there's probably not as many people as hype about this as they are the Metric with the 20th anniversary pressing that we have over here. Old World Underground, where are you now? Holy crap. Holy crap. It's been that long. The 20th anniversary edition, though this came out a little while ago. It hasn't been the 20th anniversary just this year. Okay, yeah, 2022. Nice. All right, let's pop it out. Jeez. Metric. All of the old school indie vibes are coming back. I'm old. I'm old now. Oh my god. No. Neon Violet, it said on the sticker. Damn! That lived up to the promise of a Neon Violet. I actually even would say it's glowing a little more in person than it is in the monitor. That's a really very peculiar but beautiful color that they have ordained this reissue with. Am I even using that term correctly? Probably not, because I'm talking off the cuff and I'm a little out of my mind. What sleek, crisp, tasteful album art. No wonder this record has withstood the test of time. Has become indie legend shout out to Canada. I mean, when it came to 2000s indie anything, Canada was really running the show in a lot of ways, between Metric, between Arcade Fire, between Godspeed, and there's so many more artists that can be named and listed. I have a bunch of other records from Last Gang that I want to give away as a package in the comments down below. Please call it in the comments and list your Instagram handle as well. It's a series of more recent releases from the label, and I will pair it with one more that I talked about. First off, we have this Maia Friedman project, Goodbye Long Winter Shadow, which when spinning this one, it's a very nice kind of like string-kissed, chamber, baroque singer-songwriter project. While not quite jazzy, I would say there are very quaint vibes to it that Leve fans would most definitely mess with. If that is a song type, singer-songwriter type that really kind of speaks to you, I highly recommend this album. Easily the best produced of the bunch, in my opinion, that Last Gang sent as far as these new releases are concerned. Just very beautiful sounding project all around. Very much recommend. Also, this Anand Wilder project, Psychic Lessons. This one also has a bit of a singer-songwriter build, but this track has more instrumentation leaning in a slightly indie psych garage direction. Very mellow, hushed lead vocals. It's very simple build, very simple, soft indie rock build. It's quite chill. It's quite vibey. And if you're looking for something that's really going to kind of, relax you and not go too crazy, this is definitely the way that you're going to want to go. Also, a couple of records from Love. This one, If I Am Only My Thoughts, is kind of like what stuck out to me out of these two. Also chill indie vibes, I would say, but kind of like a bit of a singer-songwriter build. But this record over here has much more of a rustic feel to it. I would even say it's leaning a little bit into country territory at some points, with a lot of guitar tones that are weepy and have that kind of like trademark watery, almost like Mac DeMarco lo-fi guitar tone sort of thing going for it. Like once you hear it on the record, you will know exactly what I am talking about. But yeah, it's the first one of these two that really kind of like stuck out to me. And finally, this Amy Millan record, I Went to Find You. This is a very serene singer-songwriter record with a lot of spacious production, very relaxed vocals. You might also remember Amy from a recent feature, not recent, it's like back from the World's era, a crossover that she did with Porter Robinson. Again, very serene, lovely, easygoing vocals, pretty instrumentation. Again, if you're looking for something relaxing, very easy on the ears, very pretty, very soft, the way to go. And yeah, I'm also going to pair that with this new horror album, which I gave a glowing review to recently. A really awesome, punky, metal-influenced, industrially influenced hip-hop record that has a lot of great highlights on it. I would even say the band is like bringing back some rap rock and some nu metal vibes on a lot of these tracks in a way that isn't actually like cringe and regrettable and makes me sort of like, just feel reminded of everything that was like kind of terrible about a lot of the popular music of that era. Really like that cover art. Sick gatefold. Cool back half. And let's look at the record itself. Ooh. Horror. Tomorrow We Escape. I like that logo. That's a sick logo for this record. Home. American flag. Bleak. And, we have this dark blood red pressing. Oh, man, that is the shade of the blood just kind of spraying out of your body. Whew, all right. Well, I want to give all these records together away in the comments. If all of these LPs interest you, then, again, call it in the comments. Say you want it in the comments. leave your Instagram handle, say I want that Last Gang package, baby, and I will make it happen. Also, a couple of more giveaways from Last Gang. I'm going to pair this next two together as well. Another throwback indie classic from them. Mother, Mother. Oh my heart. Have not thought about this record in friggin' years. Shout out again to Last Gang for sending it my way. Let's take a look at this one again. Okay, it's a black pressing, but this is a thick baby. You can't really tell from the camera, but this is a thick Mother. This is not just your average sort of like pressing heft and gram. This is a thick one. They must have opted for, do you want to do a color, do you want to do a thick one? And they decided to do a real thick one on here, which should sound great. Again, you know, as far as like indie rock classics from this era go, from Canada, this is a real solid one. And then we have the 11-year anniversary Death from Above 1979 comeback over here. I actually recently got stopped by somebody in person who told me that like my review of this album was like their intro to what I do, and had a lasting impact on them, the review and just kind of my content. So I obviously appreciate that greatly. Real cool. Again, 11th anniversary gatefold over here with the Boyz. Revisiting this album, I appreciate the kind of like how much hard rock influence there is on a lot of these tracks, which I think is cool. Definitely not as punky as their debut. I'm loving the kind of splattery pink, though, that they did over here on the LPs. Very awesome packaging for this. Holy crap, they really went all out. I'm liking these are all like lyric sheets from a notebook. They're kind of just like all scribbled out, which is super neat. That's like a neat little way of kind of celebrating the album. Very cool. Very cool. And yeah, I'm gonna give these away together. Call it in the comments. We have the Last Gang package that we're gonna give away in these comments, and then we're gonna do the DFA Mother twofer. So DFA Mother coming together. Call that if you're interested. Leave your Instagram handle or the Last Gang package. Call it in the comments, leave your Instagram handle. We will randomly choose who's gonna get it. And there you go. Last thing I have to shout out here in this vinyl update is a 12-inch all the way from Japan that I ordered for Rich Boys Throw Some D's. This is a banger, man. Come on. This is such a killer track. It's such a killer track. We got the LP version, radio, instrumental, a cappella. Same thing on side B. No muss, no fuss, no messing around with this track. I think it's one of the best produced Southern rap songs as far as like, you know, big radio jams go from back in the day. And I just love how many different like remixes and versions there are of this track when you go online. There's like a metal version, which is freaking insane. You know, a version that has like even Kanye on it, interestingly. You know, from back when he was known as Kanye. But yeah, like I think one of the best sort of like Southern hip-hop hits from that time period. I got two really good, solid Southern rap singles, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, that's going to be it for the vinyl update this time, guys. Thank you very much for watching, for vibing, for chilling together, and hopefully you got some good recommendations, and good luck to those on the Patreon page with the Beck and the Anthrax, and those in the comments who are going to be in the running to win a few of these record packages and CD packages coming out your way. You're the best. Over here next to my head, another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano. Vinyl update forever.